everybody, Bucks Gearbox. Welcome to the table. Hey and welcome. Today, a tale of two Hinderer knives. These are excellent knives. He's an excellent knife maker, Rick Hinderer, and designer right here from the great state of Ohio, known for tank-like toughness and dependability. These knives are some of the toughest knives around. They're made here in, as I said, Ohio, USA, in Rick's shop. Availability is a little tricky to describe. They make them, send them to retailers, and they sell out almost immediately. So attainable, very much so actually. He makes them at a regular pace, but not easy to get because they sell out so quickly. So if you see one and you know you want one, better to jump. Hopefully this video will give you a little bit of insight as to whether you want one. And specifically, we're talking about the XM18, the skinny 3.5, and the skinny, it's not really designated skinny, 3.0, the smaller, EDC friendlier carrying blade. And both of these are amazing, but the question I want to help answer today are, what are the main differences between the 3.5 and the 3.0? Is it just size? Is there more to it than that? So let's look at some specifications. I can't figure out which word I want to say. This is the Hinderer XM18 3.5 skinny harpoon spanto. Yeah, it's kind of a mouthful, kind of a ridiculous amount of stuff going on here in the name, but it's 8.25 inches in total length. It's a 20 CV stonewashed blade. It's 3.5 inches long, hence the name. And it's got this wicked harpoon swedge thingy up on top here that gives it the kind of harpoon spanto designation. Very slight tanto. You can see the bevel change there. But I would call this one of the least tanto blades I've ever seen. That's not a knock. I really like this. It just doesn't look like your traditional tanto blade, just to me, you know. The XM18s these days come with the tri-way pivot system. You can see, oh wait, that's the skinny designation. The tri-way icon is on the back side. And that means you can swap out this pivot system for two others that come in the box. Check out my other video on this particular knife to get more details on that, but it's really cool. I left the bearings in mine because I like the smooth operation, the fast, quick flickableness of it. And this one specifically is Kentucky Blue G10. I call it Kentucky Blue because I'm a Kentucky fan. And on the back, it's got anodized blue titanium on the lock side. Again, this is the skinny 3.5. The regular size one's a little bit bigger than this, and then there's like the fat one as well, which is super big. I've held the regular 3.5 and the fat, and the skinny feels just right in my hands. I'm a tall, skinny guy with large hands, medium large hands, and I really like the feel of this. On to the 3.0. This is also comparable to the skinny, although they don't designate it skinny because I believe all of the 3.0s are the same width and they are comparable to the 3.5 inch skinny size design. This is also a 20 CV blade working finish, not a stonewash finish, and I really like the way that looks. It's gonna hide scratches really well, and when the scratches do appear, they're just gonna look cool. And I have carried this quite a bit and used it. There's a few little trails in there, but not too many. 3.0 inch blade, of course. This is 7 inches overall, so quite a bit shorter than the regular XM18. It's got the Skinner blade, which, you know, some people seem to just not like, and that's fine. I'm kind of like either way on it because it's a Hinderer. This also has the tri-way pivot system in it. And this is the OD Green G10 with a battle bronze finish on the lock side, titanium. So, tale of two knives. let's look at maybe some size comparisons and some style comparisons between these two blades. How about if I put them like pivot to pivot there? You'll get a better idea of what we're going at. So the blades are probably the biggest differentiator, you know, 3.0 to 3.5 inch length. Kind of speaks for itself a bit, but the blade shapes are interesting. And of course, this is different with the 4 or so different blade styles that you can get with an XM18. Push those in the middle a little bit. You know, it looks almost like, to me, this is kind of subjective, but yeah, subjective. To me, they took this harpoon point up here on the swedge and they just kind of pushed it forward to get this Skinner shape. And that is, you know, this is a very tough blade. It's huge for one. It's really big, but in this smaller knife, you also get a lot of strength because of the way this is designed. So, you know, you can say that it looks funny. Spydercos look funny too, but everybody, we all love those. I think the strength is the reasoning behind this, because, you know, this is a smaller blade, so you lose a little bit of material, obviously. Doesn't mean it's necessarily any less strong as far as, you know, just general strength goes and toughness. But I think the Skinner shape definitely adds to a little bit of robustness at the tip. You know, you can break any knife if you abuse it or do things it's not meant to do, but I would say a Hinderer would last longer than most other folding knives because of the way they're designed. I mean, they're just designed for toughness. They're huge, awesome beasts of a knife. So very tough. There's no Tonto bevel on the little bro, of course, because this is more of, well, it's a Skinner, but it looks kind of like a drop point style, spear point style blade, other than the funky swedge on the top there. And the handles are, I thought this was pretty interesting when I first got these and put them together, put them up close to each other, and the handles are actually very, very similar. Where the blade is different, the handles just seem like they're big and little of the same thing. And I might be a little wrong on that. I didn't have any hand in designing these, so there's probably little bitty differences here and there, but they do look very, very similar to me. The cutout here, where your thumb goes or where your finger goes, that's a little bit different, just in the style and then the width of it there. But other than that, this is a small version of this handle to me. They're very, very similar. I'll flip them over so you can kind of see the backside as well. Just really, really shrunk down version of this, which is great because these both feel amazing in the hand. The jimping, that's where you really start to feel a little bit of a difference, not just in the handle, but on the blade as well. If I can get these close up so you can see them side by side. The jimping is a little smaller, and thus, I believe, inherently less aggressive on your fingers than the big one. The small one is less aggressive, less painful. You get less finger fatigue on the landing points here. This just feels a little bit sharper on the big guy than it does on the little guy. Probably very subjective there. Most people wouldn't have any issues with it, but some do. So just keep that in mind. Opening for me is easier on the 3.0. It just is, and I think it's a little bit due to the lightweightness of it. It's just easy to flick right out. Also, the jimping on the flipper tab is a little bit friendlier feeling, and I think simply because it's smaller and it's, you know, probably a little bit thinner as well. On the big guy, if I don't get it just right, now if I get it just right, it's fine. Like I have them right there. But sometimes when I'm in a hurry, I find that I push too hard, and you really want to kind of light switch this one open, or you might get a little divot in your fingertip there. It's just something to be aware of. Definitely not any kind of deal breaker. As with any knife, you do get used to it the more that you use it. Just realize the lighting is destroying that swedge in the view. There's a big, 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 big harpoon swedge up there, just so you know. Don't forget. Next, moving on, just interestingly to me, I love this design. I love the bigger design. It feels better in my hand. It fits my hands better because I have, you know, pseudo large hands. skinny but big. I also love the Tonto-esque and the harpoon spear point style blade here. I really, really like this a lot, but I carry this one so much more often, and I think it's simply because it's easier to carry. It is a little bit lighter. I'll weigh it here in a minute, weigh both of them here in a minute, but I just think this one is more everyday carry friendly than the big one is. Now, I carry the big one too. I love it. I actually like it better than the small one as far as like on paper and in the looks department, night and day. I really love this one, although I kind of wish I had the working finish up there, but I like both. I like the stonewash as well. On paper, I like this one better. I carry this one probably twice as much. And I take it camping and hiking and backpacking with me because it's relatively lightweight for as useful as it is. To me, it's worth the ounces. So let me do that real quick. I'll grab my little kitchen scale over here. And you can see there's not a huge difference, honestly. Is it zeroed out? Yep, I don't have a fancy one. So 3 3/8 to 4 7/8. So yeah, this one is chunkier, bigger, a little bit heavier, but man, it's so pretty. I love that finish. I know that anodization is going to kind of wear down a little bit, and it already has worn in because, as I said, I do carry both of these, and I carry that a lot, but I carry this one more. I just find that interesting. You know, if I was reviewing these and giving them a number, I'd probably give them the exact same number because to me they're so similar, and you can't go wrong with either one. Before I get to kind of the final verdict, although this isn't a review, I thought I'd do some quick size comparisons because you may not have either one of these. You may be deciding between the big guy or the little guy. So I figured I'd show you some comparable knives that you would be familiar with. Here is the Para 3, and of course the 3.0 lines up pretty good with that one. And let's see what the Paramilitary 2 does here. Trying to line these up pivot to pivot, and there you go, a little bit of size comparison there. Obviously very similar in length, these two down here and these two up here. I just thought that was pretty interesting that they line up so well. On to a couple others that you probably are familiar with. This is the Benchmade Bug Out, and that's right in the middle, maybe a little closer to the 3.0. And this is meant for lightweight backpacking and stuff, and camping and being out in the woods, but also just a light EDC. And the last backpacking trip I went on, I took both of these because they're so lightweight. I could afford the ounces, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. And then another, like a big guy that's comparable in this kind of price region, quality region, Chris Reeves Sebenza. This is the large. This was the one in my last video, I believe. And yeah, obviously, I wish I had a little Sebenza to put this up against, but I don't. And there you have it, a few size comparisons. That's just what I had on the table. Kind of conclusion, same price, same amazing quality, same inherent toughness, USA made with like high quality everything. Unless you want one of the thicker, like the regular size XM18 in thickness, or even the ginormous XM24, or the fat version of either one of those, then it's all subjective between these two. It literally comes down to me, this is my opinion, take it for what it's worth. You can't go wrong. Just get the one that you like the best if you're in for one of these. If you want an XM18 and you can't decide between the 3.0 and the 3.5, just get the one you like the size the best of, because they're both incredibly good knives. And honestly, I know they're a little bit on the pricey side. These are premium knives, but to me, they're very fair in that realm of high quality production knife. The cost point for these is very fair compared to other people who are putting out the same level of quality. Just a little bit of a 2 cents there. So go with your preference with confidence on either one of these. You can't go wrong. You know, you might want to be picky and wait until you see the exact combination of blade shape and handle materials and colors, blade finishes and all that. But again, availability on these is a tricky thing. So be wary of that. Keep that in mind. If you just know you want one and you're not being super picky about the colors, then jump on the ones that you see if you know that you want one. Hopefully this video has helped you decide on these two. I'm gonna just put this up just so you know exactly which knives we're looking at here, because it can be kind of confusing. They have a good catalog of all of their knives on their website, so you can check that out. You can look those up and get all the specs if you want. And that's it. This is a longer video, comparison video. I try to keep them shorter, but sorry about that. But I wanted to do it justice in case you're on the fence about one of these. Thanks all. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Have a great day. Bye.